Hey, Iostex here. I am a professional FPS coach and former professional coach for Overwatch League organizations like the New York Excelsior and the Boston Uprising, with now more than 5 years of professional coaching experience under my belt, running the biggest private coaching business over at iostex.com and helping out players for free over on my Discord's Ask Stux Anything channel. Anyways, let's just start the session. Oh man. Honestly, my system is like born out of chaos and it has never failed me. So, what can I do for you today?
So I come to you today because my spark for Overwatch has been reignited, but having taken such a long break, and I'm trying new heroes as well. I don't feel like I'm contributing well enough when I'm playing ladder or playing in teams and stuff like that. So I come to you asking for advice on Ana gameplay, if you could help. Or at least I have an Ana VOD there.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Sounds good. Send me the replay code and we shall take a look.
Yeah. The replay code. No. Yeah. Where do you want it? Sorry.
Just send me the code in DMs.
Alright, okay.
Okay. Yes. There we go. Okay. So I'm assuming that you are interested again because of the
Overwatch 2. Yes.
Overwatch 2 beta. Okay, perfect.
I got back into it maybe a month before the beta came out.
Okay. Yeah, I can't wait for the game to come out so I can actually coach it.
I'm really enjoying Ana on Overwatch 2, but I'm still playing ladder anyway.
I mean, yeah, there's like basically no point in playing beta right now. Blizzard betas run a very long time, and they tend to change a lot. Like usually during the beta, fuck all happens, but then eventually the beta closes. But then like the product they actually ship is completely different from what it was in beta. So beta is like such.
I think I remember that with the original Overwatch.
Basically, yeah, like Overwatch beta had nothing to do with the actual release. It's kind of a meme. You need to remind me what your in-game name was.
This is Cinnabar. I'm on Team 2. So
okay. And you can see the game? The screen share is working?
Yes.
Yes, excellent. So, what do you think are the problems?
Okay, something with the Overwatch replay is the colors always really piss me off. But anyway, I think my aim on the more squishy characters is not good. I know that I should have landed more shots on the Genji, and that really pissed me off that I didn't. I don't think I use nades enough. And I get conflicting opinions about this. I know that positioning is usually a weak point. I've been told, like, from some people that I played too defensively on Ana, which I'm like, is there such a thing as too defensively on Ana? And then other times, people like, you're way too vulnerable. What the hell are you doing standing in the middle with no cover? So
what do you think?
3 things. I think I need to develop the game sense to be able to judge for myself.
Yes,
I can be like, this is a good position actually, or no, you're right, I'm playing defensive today, or something like that.
So what do you think about the first team fight? Let's just look at the first team fight and tell me what your thoughts are. Okay? Let's just start from here. Let's just take a look at the entire first fight.
So here I felt comfortable because I knew I wasn't peeking, but I didn't feel like I was supporting my tanks enough. Oh, I was duoing with the Genji, so I was maybe pocketing him a little bit. That was a bit tunnel vision then.
Okay, let's try this again. I'm going to play this team fight. I want you to say stop at exactly the moment you think the team fight is over. Okay? Or not over, but the moment the team fight is lost.
Right.
Okay. Just say stop.
Monkey jumped in. Monkey dead. Bad sign. Since it's the first fight, you could arguably say when Monkey died.
Okay, so you would say the team fight is over, was decided when Monkey died. Okay, so the whole point behind reviewing our games is to figure out how we could have won team fights.
Right.
The way that we win team fights is by either preventing whatever lost us the team fight, which in turn gives our teammates more time to win the team fight, right? The slower our teammates die, the more time they have to kill someone on the enemy team, right? Imagine your Winston dies after 5 seconds. How is Pharah supposed to kill someone in 5 seconds? But if you keep Winston alive for 15 seconds, maybe that's enough time for Pharah to do something, right? So that's approach number 1. We can delay the team fight from being lost. In this case, what lost us the team fight is that Winston died. Or, alternatively, instead of preventing the enemy team from gaining an advantage, we need to get an advantage ourselves as Ana. What kind of advantages are there in the game?
For Ana, well, picks.
Okay, so there's pick advantages, numbers advantages, yes.
Gaining ult.
There's ult advantages, yes.
Saving someone.
That's not an advantage. That's you preventing the enemies from getting an advantage, but it's not giving you an advantage. If you get a pick, that's an advantage. If you get your ultimate, that's an advantage. Okay. The last advantage, it's not as relevant for supports. The last advantage is a space advantage.
Okay.
It's just when you control more of the map.
Supports don't make space as much as tanks.
Exactly. An advantage is basically what wins you the team fight, right? Whenever you win a team fight, it goes down to one of these 3 things. You either win it because your team got a pick, you win it because your team used a big ultimate, or you won it because you just pushed the enemy team off the point. Sometimes you can win a team fight without getting a pick or without using an ultimate if the enemy team just gives it up. Arguably in lower elo, that is pretty rare to happen, but it does happen. Okay. So in this case, you need to kind of ask yourself, okay, when my Winston died, so I either A, need to do something before he dies, I need to get us an advantage before he dies, or if I can't do that, at least I need to keep him alive longer. I need to try my best to delay his death so that when I can't get an advantage, at least maybe my teammates can get an advantage.
Okay, so I guess thinking about that in this context is 2 ways. Either I could try and get a pick as Ana, which doesn't sound very appealing, to step into a position that I didn't feel comfortable stepping in because everyone sort of stood on the high ground and looking down to heal this Winston, but may have been the better option.
Well, getting a pick doesn't always mean getting a solo kill. If you throw an anti-nade on an enemy, and then that enemy dies because of spam damage.
Yeah.
Like, that's also a pick.
Okay.
So the main ways that you can carry as Ana is through ult advantage. So doing everything you can to maximize how quickly you get your ultimate, and then ideally getting it before the enemies. But look at the game right now. You're at 40%. How much does the enemy Ana have?
Oh, that Ana's kicking my ass. She's got 70.
Clearly, when we just look at ult advantage, she's beating you there.
Yeah.
So then we need to look at, like, pick advantage. In what way are you contributing to your team potentially getting a pick? Are you poking the enemies so that they get low HP and that could become a pick? Are you nading them? Are you landing asleep on enemies who might be out of position? No, you're not doing.
Just spamming heal.
Yeah, you're not doing any of those things. So you're not really creating an advantage, right? So the next question would be, okay, so if you're not creating an advantage, if you're not farming ult, if you're not looking for nades, if you're not sleeping people, are you at least trying to prevent the enemy team from getting an advantage? In this case, the advantage the enemy team got was that they killed the monkey. So did you do anything to prevent the monkey from dying?
Absolutely not.
Not really.
Not even in field of view.
You didn't heal him, nor did you apply pressure to the people who were trying to kill him. Because sometimes the best way to save your teammates is not to actually heal them. Sometimes it's sleeping the person who shoots them, or nading the person who shoots them. Okay?
Right.
But you didn't do
I'm taking notes, by the way.
Yeah, no,
just in case
it's all fine. Okay. So you're not actually you know, so I guess the question then becomes, what are you doing? Like, what was your when you think back to this team fight? Let's just go back a little, okay? Just think about old Cinnabar. What the fuck was your game plan in this team fight? What were you trying to do that in your head could lead to a win?
It's definitely the bias of I'm playing in a team, so I want to keep Genji alive. I was focusing on keeping the people I was standing near alive instead, which is a very generic heal bot kind of moment, instead of maybe focusing on especially that sort of like getting picks part. And I was also focusing a lot on not dying.
So you were,
which is why I was standing very timidly.
So you were focused less on winning the team fight and more on not throwing it.
Yeah. When you put it like that.
And how are we supposed to climb like that? How is that going to prove the game? Like, even if you do that perfectly, let's say that you are never the reason you lost the team fight. That means you're also never the reason you won the team fight.
Right, okay. Because then you're just kind of at the mercy of the rest of your team if you're not actively trying to win.
And what's the chances of either team winning in ranked? 50-50. That's the point behind ranked. So you're going to be stuck at the same rating forever. What you need to do is you need to make a difference. It's not just enough to say, if you are getting... You're basically playing the way a booster wants you to play. If you go on the internet and you pay someone $300 to boost you to GM or whatever, they're going to tell you to play exactly like this. Just stand in the back, heal a little, but whatever you do, just don't feed. As long as you don't feed, I boost you. And that's about right. Works great when someone is boosting you. But this Genji, I'm assuming, is not here to boost you.
No, it just runs.
Okay.
He's good Genji. He's better than my elo, but not boosting.
Well, he's not killing anything, which is okay, you know. But, I mean, the Winston jumped in and he wasn't there to follow up. So you kind of invested all of your resources into that, but nothing happened. And now your Winston is dead. Yeah. And now your Winston is dead, so.
It's 1v1.
And like everything here, look, so now, I mean, the team fight is basically lost, but whenever we lose the team fight, or whenever we fail to get an advantage and the enemy team gets an advantage, in this case, the enemy team got a numbers advantage, that means this is a lost fight. When a team fight is lost, what becomes our new goal? Obviously not to win the team fight, it's already lost, you know.
Well, so see about that.
No. Look. So when the team fight...
soft reset.
Yeah. No, you don't soft reset. You basically try to cut your losses. Which basically... So it depends. When you're on defense, you try to cut your losses. When you're on offense, you try to take as much ult charge with you as possible.
Okay.
So after your Winston dies, that doesn't mean that we should say, oh, this team fight is over. I'm just going to go AFK and wait until we regroup. Right? If anything, the fact that the team fight is over means you can play even more aggressively. Because if you die, it doesn't matter. Winston is already dead. You know, your chances of winning this team fight aren't particularly high. You know, it's actually, I don't know if you've ever played an MMO, but whenever people are raiding in MMOs, sometimes they fuck up a boss fight mechanic so massively that they just call stop healing, which basically means the healers just like stop healing, obviously.
Right.
You know, because the fight is basically over, so they just try to like get as much damage in as possible. You know, so the healers just deal damage instead of healing. It's kind of the same thing here, where when the team fight is lost anyways, you just want to maximize the amount of ult charge you get, which of course to a certain extent also involves healing, because healing does give you ult charge, so the analogy isn't perfect. But it also means not hiding in the back and just letting your teammates die. So you still want to play aggressive. And maybe, and this is something that happens in low elo very often, sometimes even though you guys lost a team fight, if I look at this is a lost team fight. Winston died, Genji died. But this is low elo. Exactly. This is low elo. In low elo, it's not about who wins the team fight. It's about who loses harder. Nobody wins in low elo. You can't say, oh, this team played so well, they won. The only thing you can say, well, that team played shit, but the other one played shit a little harder. So they're the ones who lost. So the only thing you can do here is hope that the enemy team makes a mistake. Maybe they cocky, they overextend, they miss their shots, they do something dumb. You know?
Right.
And then you can still turn it around.
Yeah.
And that's why...
Do you have anywhere that has like sort of like an ult charge breakdown? Because I was really curious about that. That's a bit random, but...
You mean how quickly ults charge?
Not just like the ult charge, like score or whatever, but because I know for different heroes, like sometimes like you get ult percentage based on like this and that. Do you have any information on that? Like,
how the ult charge system works?
Yeah, for a specific heroes, like if you land asleep or something, it gives you like X% ult charge. Do you have anything like that? Do you know of anything like that?
The only way you get ult charge, as far as I know, is damage dealt, healing done, and damage taken. I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure on the last part. To be completely honest, I haven't read too much into it, but like my understanding is that each ultimate has like a cost associated with it. So I think Lucio is like 2,000 something.
Right.
And every point of damage you deal, every point of healing you apply, and every point of damage you take gives you ult charge. Again, don't quote me on the damage taken stuff, because I think they use like some different formulas, and I think that's one of the aspects that actually changes with Overwatch 2. I think with Overwatch 2, the amount of ult charge you gain from damage taken changes. But the point being is that each of those points translate 1-to-1. So if an ultimate has a cost of 2,200, it means that you would need to deal 2,200 points of damage or heal up 2,200 HP.
Oh, okay.
That's basically like how it works internally. Again, with Overwatch 2, some of those things are going to change. And to be completely honest, knowing about this sort of stuff really doesn't matter too much, because it's kind of like breathing, you know? Like you don't need to be able to correctly name each muscle in your body that contributes to breathing. You just need to know that if you breathe, you stay alive. So it's kind of the same thing here, you know? You do good shit, you get ults.
Checks out.
But yeah, so basically right here, just because, you know, like the team fight initially was lost, I mean, it was pretty lost. Like this is kind of the second team fight now. The moment that someone returns to the fight, it's basically the next fight. Like your Winston died, now he's back. So this isn't like the same fight. But yeah, I mean, the same thing still applies, you know? And then right here, you missed an opportunity to land a nade because the diva threw her matrix at you, which is okay.
Yeah.
You know, it happens. For some reason, you didn't sleep her, which also is a little bit confusing, you know?
Okay, then that begs the question, when's a good time to sleep someone?
When an enemy is overextended, when an enemy is aggressive.
Okay.
So right there, that diva. Go back to when you needed to sleep her. So right here, she ate your nade.
She comes way out.
Yeah,
there's
so
no defense.
Exactly.
Matrix, so it's a really good spot actually.
So this is an overextension by the diva.
Especially because two tanks are like right up in her face as well.
Exactly. So you can see, like from her perspective, look, all of her teammates are behind a wall. So if you sleep her, it's a 4v1. It's a free kill.
Totally.
Okay. But we didn't. Which again kind of begs the question, why didn't we sleep the discarded half HP diva who isn't even looking at us?
Because this Cinnabar doesn't know how to use sleeps or what circumstances to use sleeps. Just kind of throws them out willy-nilly, to be honest.
So
vibe-based.
So your sleep dart is a so-called reactive ability. So proactive abilities like your nade are abilities where we want to look for, where we want to create opportunities.
Okay.
So we want to position aggressively, we want to spam shields, we just want to nade as much as possible. Whereas with your sleep dart, we just kind of sit on it until the enemy team begs us to sleep them.
Right.
And right here, this diva is begging you to sleep her. Because she's all the way in the front. She is not a main tank. She's all the way in the front. She doesn't have a shield. She doesn't have matrix anymore. She's begging you to get slept. When you can land a sleep, when you know it's basically guaranteed that it's going to hit, you just go for the sleep. When the enemy Reinhardt charges in, when the enemy diva dives in, when Doomfist jumps your Ana, when Genji jumps your Zen, when a McCree is on a flank, when a Widowmaker is alone on high ground. Every single time the enemy team does something aggressive, engages, goes on a flank, goes on high ground, uses a cooldown aggressively, uses their ultimate. Every single time the enemy team tries to play aggressive, you go, nah, that's not how we do things here, and you sleep them.
Okay. That's really good, thank you.
Okay, does all of that make sense?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay.
I'm mad about not getting
See, so right here, look. What are you doing here? Look.
Backing off because I was half health.
So look at your ult charge right here. Not much is happening, is there?
Yeah.
Okay. The enemy Ana already has her ultimate. When did she get her ultimate? She got it while you were at 68%. Let me do some math here. She got it like 50% faster than you. Almost 50%. That is a problem. It's a pretty big problem.
Right.
Okay. And one of the reasons is because right here, you're not getting any.
What? Where would be a good place that I could be right now that would help me get my ult faster?
Well, you can get your ultimate either by healing teammates or by dealing damage to enemies.
Should I just step out more in front of people?
Well, yeah. I mean, you can stand here, and then you could maybe heal the Hammond. You can go to the left here, and you can just kind of peek in and out and just spam some shots down the shield.
Anymore. Why was I so scared?
Because you were half HP. You can also heal yourself.
Yeah.
You have your nade.
This makes me think I've heard some bad advice. I heard some advice, and because he's GM, but he's DPS, so like I shouldn't have listened.
But what did
he said, don't use your nade for self-heal. That's what the other support's for. Use it for purpling people only. And I just kind of took him at his word.
What rating does he play at?
Low GM.
Okay, yeah. He's
a fire one trick.
Yeah, so he's technically correct. Very, very technically correct. So in high elo, the two supports kind of play in like a tandem system where they're responsible for each other, which enables them to play more aggressively. You can't do that in low elo.
You can't rely on the other support. I was getting pissed here because the Zen wouldn't give me a heal.
Well, how is he supposed to? He's fucking behind you. He doesn't have eyes on his back. How is he supposed to know you're low HP?
Because he should have telepathy and he should know.
Right. So you know, so this is like kind of something he should have added. Yes, the two supports play in tandem, and ideally, the other support should heal you, so you don't have to nade yourself, and you can instead nade the enemies. But the problem is that he didn't consider is that you are playing really fucking scared. So you're always 10 fucking kilometers behind the other support. If you are playing with your other support, let's say you're playing here, where you were earlier. This is where you stood earlier when I told you about sleeping the diva, right? If you stand here and you just spam XXXXX, he could heal you.
Right.
But he doesn't have eyes in his ass. He cannot heal you if you play this passively. Okay?
Right.
And you need to recognize that. Because what is he supposed to do? Just turn around, just turn his back towards the enemies? He's gonna die. Not a good idea.
Yeah, of course. Okay.
So we don't.
I think I wasn't pissed at him yet. I think I got pissed at him just maybe later.
We don't want to use our nade for self-healing.
Yeah.
Ideally never, but in the same way, like I don't want to ever do chemo. That doesn't mean that if I get cancer, I'm not gonna do chemo.
Right.
You know, it's kind of the same. Like, sure, we don't want to nade, but your Zen is in front of you. You're fucking useless because you have 100 HP and you're scared, so you don't do anything. This is a good a time as any to use your nade.
Got yeah.
Okay, perfect.
I mean, you could even walk up to the Zen and use it together.
Now that is thinking inside and around and on top of the box. Yes, that is something that you could do. But you didn't.
But I didn't.
You know, this is like when you have an argument with someone and then like 3 days later in the shower, you think of the perfect comeback. You know? I should have just naded both of us. That would have been so smart. But yeah, so our ultimate progress is stagnating. And then now your teammates are like starting to do stuff. But again, the big problem is like, where's the tempo? Where's the momentum? Your teammates are going in, they're killing stuff. What should we do? We shouldn't scope in. We need to push in. We need to take space with them, right? There's like your gameplay is like separated into two phases. You're either looking to get an advantage, or once you have the advantage, you want to permanentize it, if that makes sense. You know, think of it when you're playing like Diablo or something. Like first you need to kill the boss, and then once the boss is dead, you want to loot as much stuff as you can. It's kind of the same thing here. First you need to get an advantage against the enemy team, usually by getting a pick, and then you want to turn that advantage and you want to suck them dry.
Right.
You want to take the point from them. Which right now you can. Your teammates just killed a bunch of enemies. You can push up. If you pushed up earlier, when your teammates were still stuck back here, and they didn't have a pick, you would die. But now you can push up without just insta-dying. Assuming that you finally fucking nade yourself. But yeah, you're just in the back, and look, you're so isolated because you're just like tunnel visioning there. Your mindset here needs to be, I need to push up. I need to get on the point with my team. I need to help them take the point. You don't have to physically stand on it, but at least you have to look at the point, contribute to like its defense and whatnot. But you push up very late, and look again what happens. Your nade is just sitting there. Your sleep, it's just sitting there.
I could have recharged the nade if I did it earlier, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Your nano boost, you did finally get your nano.
I don't even know how, but...
Maybe we want to nano someone, but if we're all the way back here, we can't nano them because we don't see them. Okay, look, our Zenyatta died. To be fair, like nanoing him wouldn't have done anything, obviously, but you get the idea, right?
Yeah.
Ideally, we want to be in a position where we can contribute, but again, our nade is sitting there, our sleep is sitting there. Abilities are stronger than just spamming left click.
Right.
But you're just spamming left click, which is perfectly fine when your abilities are on cooldown. And you don't have to use your sleep on cooldown. Again, your sleep is a reactive ability. If the enemy team doesn't do anything stupid that you can punish them for, then don't use your sleep. But with your nade, it has to go in there. You just need to just smack them, you know?
Okay.
Do we have any questions so far?
Not right now.
Okay.
I died because it did nade. I can see to that.
Yeah, again, I'm going to be honest, it is a little bit confusing that you just kind of never naded.
Yeah.
You know? It's pretty OP. It heals you quite a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, so impossibly we won that. Well, not impossibly. In my absence, we won that.
Oh, that is an interesting nano boost.
I wanted to sort of keep the momentum and steamroll them. That was sort of the thought I had.
That is a good thought. So it's good that you're thinking about momentum, and it's correct. That's what you should do. However, the way that you used your nano boost actually kind of did the opposite. So the best way, the momentum already exists here. Your team is already playing with tempo. They're already pushing in aggressively. They're like, quick, we need to go in. right? So they're already applying pressure on them. So what you want to use the nano for is not to create that tempo. Using your nano to create tempo, what that would look like is if both teams are just poking each other. And if both teams are just poking each other, that's 0 tempo. 0 momentum. Neither team is really doing anything. And if you nano boost a Genji, and then he goes in and he uses his blade, or if you nano boost a Winston and he jumps in, that would create momentum.
Right.
Because you go from an inert state, where neither team is really doing anything, to a state of momentum, where things are moving, things are happening.
Right.
Okay? But right here, things are already happening. There's already momentum, things are moving. The chess pieces are moving around the board. So
Is this overkill?
So, I mean, it just doesn't really create any momentum. The momentum is already there, so there is no reason to use it proactively. What we want to do instead is we want to use it to maintain the momentum.
Right.
So you need to ask yourself, okay, right now we have momentum. Right now people are playing aggressively and they're doing stuff. What could kill our momentum here? What could stop us in our tracks? Well, if our Winston dies, he's the front line. If he dies, our momentum is gone. Our entire attack, our entire snowball stopped right there and then. So instead, we want to use the nano boost to keep the momentum. When our Winston is about to die, when our Hammond is about to die, when our Pharah or Genji, when they're about to die, instead of letting them die and losing that momentum, we're like, fuck you, Elfie. You need to go, whatever you just did to that Winston to almost kill him, fuck you, go do all of that again. You're not going to get rid of us that easily.
Right.
Okay? That should be your mindset. So this ultimate didn't really quite do that. So one way that you could have maintained momentum is instead if you would have waited a little, the enemy Genji used his blade. Okay?
Right.
First of all, you're scoping in here. Scoping in here is kind of a throw because right now we're in a state of momentum. Momentum means you want to move along. Exactly. Right here, you don't want to scope in. It's too slow. It takes you 10 fucking years to get there. You need to just momentum. You were already late because you died previously, right? You were already late. When you died late, you need to be like, oh my god, fuck, I'm late. I need to get to the fucking interview or whatever. Just speed so you can actually get there. That's your first priority. So you shouldn't be scoping in. And then with your nano boost, the enemy Genji uses his blade, right? So he's trying to take the momentum away from you. He is getting heated up. He's trying to get the momentum.
This is our Genji, isn't it?
No, the enemy, both look here.
Sorry, I'm not very... okay.
Both Genjis are ulting, okay? Your Genji is ulting because there's momentum. He wants to ride the wave of momentum to keep things moving forward. But there's an equal and opposite force. Okay, this is like Isaac Newton or some shit. Okay, there's the enemy Genji. Okay, so instead of using our nano to create more momentum, we already have a fuck ton of momentum. We want to cockblock this Genji. He's trying to take our momentum away. We want to cockblock him. How can we do that? Maybe if this juicy Zenyatta that he's trying to go for. What happens if we nano him right here? That would be a pretty big cockblock. Imagine you're this Genji, you go in, you blade, you swing at the Zenyatta, you're like, oh my god, this is such a free kill. And then bam, he just gets nanoed. All of a sudden, he's full HP. Right? And then after that look, like he's already almost dead.
Use nano to cockblock.
Your nano is like the cockblocking ability in the game. Most support ultimates are cockblock abilities. Enemy Doomfist dives your Mercy, she just velks away. Cockblock. Genji tries to blade your Zen, nano him. Cockblock. Maybe you're not there. Zenyatta uses Transcendence. Bam. Cockblock. Okay? Baptiste, he doesn't even cockblock with his ultimate. He cockblocks with his Immortality Field.
Right.
Moira cockblocks with her Fade. Oh, I'm stuck in a grav. Fuck you. And she just fades away. Like that's
can't do that in Overwatch too.
That's well, yeah, you get the idea. The support's job is to just be like a ginormous cockblock. They're like anti-momentum. Enemy team wants to do something. No. We don't do that here.
The more annoying you are, the better you're playing. Exactly.
Your job is to maintain the momentum. You can create momentum by landing a nade, for example. that can set things in motion and allow
And
your
this
team
Anna's
to go
kind
in.
of huge.
Exactly.
She's so outplaying me.
You know? But right here, this nano boost is a huge missed opportunity, because had you nanoed the Zenyatta here, that could have made a big difference.
Right.
Also, why is fucking general chat a thing still? I always disable it. And they're like, no, I'm going to re-enable it. Fuck you, IO Stacks. Okay. Well, let's finish this attack. See, right here, look, just go to your team. Stop scoping in. Why? Like,
usually I'm not very scopy, but I don't know what was on today. Or whenever this was. No. Usually I don't scope in a lot.
Well, I mean, yeah, maybe. But this is pretty fucking scopy.
Yeah, this is.
Like, how can you land nades? Right now, right? We don't have any momentum. This is a perfect example of there being no momentum. Neither team is doing anything. Both teams are inert. They're fucking around on point. You guys are fucking around at choke. There's zero momentum. How can we create momentum? This Genji, he used his deflect. We can break the enemy Reinhardt shield. We can nade the Reinhardt. We can sleep the Genji if he tries to go in again, right? Look, there we go. Reinhardt shield is broken. This is an opportunity.
That's my sound effect of throwing the nade that way.
You can just sleep. Exactly. You can, whatever that noise was, you can do whatever that you want. Just create momentum. And then you land the nade, and then the momentum has been created, and then you push in. And you ride the wave, and you try to turn that advantage into a permanent advantage. The temporary pick advantage into a permanent advantage, like taking control of the point and capturing it. That's a permanent advantage. Okay? You can get as many temporary advantages as you want. You can get as many picks as you want. You can land as many nades as you want. If you don't turn them into permanent advantages, into actually capturing the point, or taking space or whatever, then all of those temporary advantages are useless. There's so many DPS players that get like 3 picks every team fight, but they just have no idea how to turn it into like an actual one game.
Don't know why he's sleeping.
And you're so far back. Look now. Look how much momentum your team has here. Because if you look at the kill feed, your Winston used his ultimate. The kill feed, sorry, like the top right. Your Winston used his ultimate. That's momentum.
Right.
Okay. Your soldier gets a pick. Even more momentum. The fucking wave is getting so huge. There's so much momentum here. Go in. You know, show some tempo. Fast. But look,
I don't know why
you're like, oh, I'm gonna take the health pack, and I'm gonna be like back here, and I'm gonna scope, and then like by the time you go to the point, like team fight is already over. You know, no one's going to look at this team fight and be like, yes, Anna. What a game.
No. I get you.
You know? But and again, same thing here with the nano boost. Just look for the opportunity to cockblock them. Wait, who the fuck did you nano? I'm so confused.
Good question. It's really blurry for me.
You nanoed the soldier. See, who did you cockblock by nano boosting that soldier?
Nobody. I could have nanoed the Diva. The Diva would have been a better option, I think.
Well, you could have maybe nanoed the Pharah, because at least there's an argument that she was critical, so maybe she could have died. You know? But you kind of ignore, like look, the Pharah is low HP.
Yeah, and I'm neglecting her.
Yes, instead of you're nano boosting the full HP soldier who's standing in his own healing
field. Yeah, this is the bias of friends.
Oh right, he's the Genji, and now he's playing soldier for some reason. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
And you're not with your team. You're like just.
I moved down because of the Diva ult.
There's.
That's why I dropped down in the first place.
Oh, you can just stand on the side, like wait.
Yeah, I think I fell off.
I think you fell off. Yeah. Well, we hopefully
somehow on that. No thanks to me.
I've hopefully been able to, kind of reintroduce you to the kind of the main concepts behind the game. Do we have any final questions?
Is there any advice with getting better at Ana aim other than just practice? And is the Ana and Widow have the same scopes? because I know Ash's one is like a bit different, but Ana and Widow are the same, right?
Correct.
Right. Okay.
I mean, the only way is to increase your playtime.
Mm.
And
I'm having fun. I'll get that playtime up.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that once Overwatch 2 comes out, we'll playtime is going to become even more important, because right now the player base is like very dedicated. Like the only people that really still grind comp are like pretty dedicated people. So climbing to high elo is actually, like, my prediction is that climbing to high elo is going to be significantly easier when Overwatch 2 comes out, if you've played Overwatch 1 all this time. Like, everyone who is grinding ranked right now is going to climb in SR significantly when Overwatch 2 comes out, because so many casual players are going to dilute the competitive player,
yeah, I see.
right? So you're not actually going to get better, but the average skill of the player base is going to go down significantly because of all of the casuals kind of getting back into the game.
Right.
So, but yeah, if you want better mechanics, raise your playtime. That is the only way.
That makes sense to me. I don't think I need more aggro examples. I know when I see it. No, I think that was really comprehensive. Thank you. Obviously, I won this round, but we went on to. They also won, and they won the attack when we didn't. But I think the fact that this was kind of a 5v6 because I was pretty useless. It was a worthy insight anyway. So no, that's great.
I'm glad that I could give you some insight. I am going to,
because I knew that I just wasn't helpful in this round, so.
It's okay. I am going. So again, I actually have no idea if you even have any sessions. So maybe I just gave you a free session. I don't know. If you, I'm going to bombard you with marketing. There we go. Here's all of the information for follow-up session discounts and the Phoenix Pass discounts. You can check out those links if you need a session. Keep in mind that follow-up sessions can only be bought. Like, the discount can only be used within 1 week after having had a session. But they last indefinitely. So if you say, okay, maybe I don't want a session right now, but maybe when Overwatch 2 comes out, I want one, you can just get it now, and then you can use it later when the game comes out. Or you can also, I don't know, maybe Blizzard just explodes or something and Overwatch 2 never comes out, then you can also just refund it.
Right.
But yeah, you can find all of the information there. Again, if you have any questions, just send me a DM. And I guess I wish you the best of luck.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm very grateful.
Godspeed.
Godspeed. Have a good evening.
Have a good one. See ya.